to finish, bro. Don't overthink anything, bro. We're living in the moment. We put in too much work, bro. Have fun today. Let's go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go. Daniel, Daniel, 3, 1, 2, 3,
What is good, YouTube, man? Today I'm back with you guys, with the nation, for another video. We are back. We are back in the home base, back dropping videos, getting my voice back. So I said, you know what? Let me give my overview, my review, my thoughts, my opinions, and some grades on the Las Vegas Raiders 2022 NFL draft class. Now, as of you guys that do know, I want to give a big, quick thank you and shout out to all the people that decided to pull up to our event that me, Graf, Wasted, Hammer, all of us, we put on a fantastic event, in my opinion. Shout out to the Ahern Hotel. Blessings to everybody that came through. Thank you guys. But, like I said, man, this ain't about that. Right now, we're going to be talking about what this Raider Nation should be expecting from each one of these players. Now, with the Las Vegas third-round pick, the Raiders say, you know what, let's trade back. Let's trade back a few spots. We're eyeing somebody, but we think he could still be there. So the Raiders decided to trade back to the 90th overall pick with the Tennessee Titans, and we went out and got ourselves Dylan Parham, man. Dylan Parham, Memphis guard, center, tackle, a little bit of tackle in there as well. The 6'3", 290-pound Memphis guard. He's versatile, man. He's played 800 snaps at right tackle, over 1,800 snaps at left guard, and around 800 snaps at the right guard position. So I know a lot of people were saying that he could profile into the next level playing the center position. Now, he does have that size, that prototypical size for a center, right? But being just under 300 pounds, he'll definitely need to put on maybe 5 to 6 more pounds just before the season starts, because we know that it gets down in those trenches, man. And being under 200, when you're facing those nasty nose tackles, those nasty three techniques, usually they're around that 295 to 300-pound range. So I do think that he'll need to put on a little bit of weight. But with Dylan Parham's journey, I don't think that that'll be a problem. This is a guy, he got to Memphis being a tight end / defensive end. He went from 2017 to now, and he put on over 60 pounds, healthy weight, good weight, to be able to play that good guard position. And guess what? He got selected for it. So the Raiders decided to select Parham. I'm going to give this one an A+ grade. And the reason why is because I had him locked in as a second-round talent. But, you know, draft boards decided to fall. We didn't see one quarterback getting taken I don't think it was in like the top 85. We didn't see one quarterback besides Kenny Pickett. So those are run on other positions. So he fell a little bit, but I will have to give this Dylan Parham pickup an A+. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders said, you know what? We love this running back by committee. Josh McDaniels says, you know what? I never have one bell cow. I never have one 3-down back that's going to do it all. It's going to be here every single play. We said, you know what? Let's go out and get Amir Abdullah that can play wide receiver, running back, kick return. Let's go out and get Brandon Bolden. Let's go out and get fullback Jacob Johnson. Let's go out and draft Georgia's running back, Zamir White, also known as Zeus. Listen, I was not a fan of the pickup. I still may not be the biggest fan of this pickup, but what I will say is that taking a step back, assessing the situation, I had to rethink. I said, you know what, Andy, I know you want other positions, but at the end of the day, McDaniels, Ziegler, they've been pretty damn transparent with us as a fans. They've been transparent as hell. They said, you know what, we're not going to be drafting for need. We're going to be drafting for best player available. And I I told you guys that. So it'd be pretty hypocritical of me to be pissed off at the pick. We should have went here, we should have went there, when they knew we knew all along we weren't drafting for needs. So I would I would have to give this one right here, even though it's not a position of need. I have to give the Zamir White grade of a B minus. It's not a position of need, but I still like the overall player. I still like the talent. And at the end of the day, man, he ran in the 4.4s. He is a damn good player. I will say that. There was some people on the NFL Network on ESPN comparing him to Ezekiel Elliott in his early days. Zamir White himself compared himself to Nick Chubb, which is, in my opinion, the second best running back in the NFL. So he's got a lot to offer. Now, in this last season at Georgia, he had a total of 856 rushing yards. Not bad at all. We know that they had James Cook. They are also running back by committee, which you see that a lot in college. So he has a lot to offer. I like the pickup. I'm going to give it a B minus. It's not the same as Parham, mostly because I'm just not a big fan of drafting a running back, but it ain't for me. It ain't for me, right? I'm going to have to give that the grade that it is. But at the end of the day, you guys, like I said, we knew going into this, he was not going to be drafting for need. We were going to be drafting for whoever was the best player on the board. And they decided that Zamir White was the best player on the board. Now, we went out and we said, you know what? Let's become best friends with the Minnesota Vikings, because we had to trade up to get Zamir White. And with us doing so, we lost pick 126. But the Raiders said, you know what? I need that pick back. And we decided to give up 2 fifth-round picks to move back up into the 4th, which at the beginning, again, I was not the biggest fan. But we decided to trade up and draft nose tackle. You guys know how much I've been talking about that. Nose tackle out of LSU, Ferrel. Wow, I can't believe it. We got Mr. Thick Frame himself. For those of you guys who've been on the channel, they know that. But Ferrel graded out as one of the highest, I believe the highest overall run stopping grade in the entire SEC, grading at 89.9 run stopping grade. He also led the entire SEC in tackles for loss. No, it was for run stops, with defensive tackles over 200 snaps played. Ferrel is a good nose tackle. For those of you guys who do not know, the Raiders are playing that 3-4 defense this year. And with you having that 3-4 defense, you need a mean nose tackle. I'm not saying that Jonathan Hankins isn't that, but what I'm saying is that you need to get younger. You need a mold, and I think that Ferrel can be molded into that. So I want to know what you guys think about that. Also, he has a good amount of experience being a 5-year collegiate athlete. So I believe he redshirted one of his years. But, you know, it happens, right? I would have to give Ferrel, with the fact that we traded up to get him, with the fact that we traded 2 fifth rounds to get him, I have to give that one a B+. This one right here was a position of need, and I really, really was scared about this position, especially since we only brought back Hankins for a 1-year deal. I have to give that one a B+. I like the pickup. I think that he'll end up being with the Las Vegas Raiders for many, many years to come, and I like it, man. I like those big, big brawlers up front, stopping the run, giving no run lanes to the opposition. Now, next up on this list, the Raiders decided, you say, you know what? I'm liking this trenches, man. And I'm seeing a guy on that defensive side of the ball right now that's just sitting there pretty on the draft board. And they say, you know what? Let's go out and get a freaky athlete, a guy that's over 300 pounds but has a 32-inch vertical. And they say, you know what? Let's go out and get Matthew Bugler out of Tennessee. Very, very, very good prospect. I like this one a lot. And the reason why I like this one a lot is because it counts into the Raiders not picking up Cleveland Ferrell's 5th-year option, which means we only got Ferrell for 1 more year. We need somebody young that can go out there with at least a year of experience, after Cleveland Ferrell's done, and I think that will be Matthew Butler. Matthew Butler has a lot of versatility. He can play from the 1 all the way to the 5, in my opinion. He can play that 3-4 edge when we are in our base 3-4. He can play that 3 technique defensive tackle when we are in our base, or not in our base, but when we are in our 4-2-5 nickel defense. I think he can do a lot for the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's why I like this pickup a lot. I know it's a little bit further back than what we thought. We originally had a 165, 164. We got him at 175, but I'm ecstatic about this pickup. I really think that out of the 4 guys that I just mentioned, outside of Dylan Parham, I think that Matthew Butler, he could be the biggest, most impactful player that we've drafted out of those first 4 names. Now, the Raiders said, you know what? We got 3 guys in the trenches in the first 4 picks. Let's make that 4. Let's go out and get somebody that we met with. Let's go out and get somebody that we held a pre-draft visit with. And they say, you know what? Ohio State's Trey Mumford is still on the board. This guy is a big boy. He is standing over 6 foot. I think he's at 6'6". The man is a big dog. He's 6'6", 320 pounds. The Ohio State alumni is a Las Vegas Raider. He could become a guy that could potentially, develop into a swing tackle, develop into a guy that can prove his worth on the roster. Brandon Parker has held it down for that for the Raiders. But I think that overall there, Munford could take that spot, right? As of right now, I think that Brandon Parker gets that swing tackle role just because of his he's a veteran. He's been in the league for longer. But I wouldn't go as far as say that Darren Mumford can go ahead and start. I do think, though, that the Raiders can rely on him in the season. If someone goes down, he can go in. That's what I think. But at the same time, he may be a guy that gets rented on the practice squad for a year, and then he gets elevated, right? But the 6'6", 320-pound Ohio State alumni with Thayer Munford, I like to pick up. Stick with the trenches. 4 out of the 6 picks is in the trenches, man. You can't be more excited as a freaking offensive lineman, defensive lineman. I'm extremely happy about that. But the Raiders said, you know what? Andy, what do you think about that pickup right there? What would you grade that one? I can't give it any lower than a B. Flat B. Not a B minus, not a B plus. It's right in the middle, right? It's not too low. It's not too high. I think that's a solid B pickup. Honestly, I do. I really like the fact that they're going out and they're getting guys that they feel like they can mold, right? We know that we have Carmen Brasillo, so they said, you know what? Let's go get Carmen Brasillo some new toys with their Munford and Carmen and Dylan Parham. I like that. They both offer some versatility. He could potentially slide into guard at the next level, but I think at 6'6", that's a little bit too big of a frame. Pause. I think that he'll be better on the outside. That's what I think. I think he'll be a tackle. But to cap off the 2022 Las Vegas Raiders draft, they said, you know what? I think the best player on the board is yet again another running back. But this time, the running back is coming out of not LSU. He's coming out of UCLA. And he goes by the name of Britton Brown. I don't like the pick. I don't, right? But at the same time, it's a 7th round pick. So I can't be mad at what they do. I really don't care what they do. But, there were certain players that were on the board. I'm not mad at that at all. He did play 2 years with Duke, and then he played another 2 years with UCLA. Britton Brown, 7th round pick, finishes off the draft. Like I said, I don't really care too much. It's our last pick in the draft. It's the 7th round. You could have went other player positions, but at the end of the day, the last 7th round pick we had, we let him go on a practice squad to the Houston Texans. The one before that was Quinn Bell. We let him go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We didn't keep him around too long. So hopefully Britton Brown, with the fact that it's running back by committee here now in Las Vegas, maybe he could carve out a role, right? He has some competition on the practice squad with Trey Regis. I think that those 2 guys may be fighting to be elevated on game days. I like this pickup. Competition brings the best out of people. Pressure makes diamonds. I like it at the end of the day. I wasn't a big fan. I'm still not a big fan, but I have to give this one a solid C+. Nothing off the charts, but what are you going to expect out of a 7th-round talent, right? You're going to expect a guy that has some elite traits, and his elite trait is that he had over 6 yards per carry on average with UCLA, so that's pretty damn freaking good. So they went out, they got a guy that held some elite traits. His was his yards per carry, and I can't be mad at that, right? And a C+, I think that's a fair grade, right? You know, there's not so much crazy talent on the board left, but you go out and get a position that you already drafted, then in my opinion, you already drafted a position that was not a need. So it is what it is. I like this draft. Overall, I know I gave what 4 Bs, an A and a C. I have to give this one a solid flat B for this year's draft. I'm happy we have built the trenches. I am happy that the Raiders are trying to go running back by committee, because these last couple teams that have really been able to run down people's throats, the Niners, Cleveland, they have had multiple good running backs. You can't just have one. You can't just have one good power back. I know the Colts got away with it. I know the Tennessee Titans are getting away with it with Henry. But those two guys are unicorns, right? You're not going to find those guys all often. So go running back by committee. Get them fresh legs out there. And I'm liking it, man. I'm liking what the Raiders are doing. Up next is the UDFA signings. I will do videos on that. So hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button for those of you guys who want to see that. But Raider Nation, as always, have a blessed day. Stay safe. Now I'm out, you guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Death Star, where our opponent's dreams come to die.